Now tough decision time. We've got to just decide if we're willing to make the move and cross, or what we want to do. What would you do? I don't even know.
Welcome back, everyone. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by.
Today is a busy day. So we're going to be finishing our prep. Cass is going to be doing an oil change. I have some pork I'm going to pressure cook, so I have some pulled pork for easy tacos. So we'll have pulled pork tacos with rice and beans and yummy veggies on the way, but I'm going to get that done before we head out, just to get in the fridge. And we'll get this place all tucked away. We have a lot of waters and all of this that I need to get into the floor. Cass is doing the oil change and a few other items. He is going to work on our temporary install of the Starlink so that we have it over this crossing, because it's a long one. It's we're going to be the farthest away from shore that we've ever been at any single point, and that is roughly 10 hours and 50 miles offshore. So not the full time, but that's at the peak of the crossing. So we want to make sure that we have accessibility to internet and have the capability to check radar, weather, all of that kind of stuff. So we want to be able to use the Starlink on our house batteries, right? So that we don't have to turn the generator on. So yeah, let's get the day going. So Cass is doing some engine checks and came across some oily fluid in the bottom of our bilge, so underneath the motor. He's now trying to locate where it is and pinpoint. So what have you found so far?
Well, opened up the steps, look in the bilge, do a check, pre-trip checks, it's all the same. Check the oil, check the belts, check the antifreeze, make sure the raw water's pumping, you know, standard stuff. And looked into the pan beneath the engine, and there was probably, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 cc's of like an oily fluid that was not the engine oil, because the engine oil is black, and this was still pretty light brown. So and it was a lighter weight than the 1040 that I run, so it's so then I kind of came back to the gearbox to see if I was leaking in the gearbox, and the gearbox has a pretty specific amount of fluid in it that it's a pretty small margin of error on that. So, and it says it has fluid in it, so I don't think it's leaking. I don't see anywhere it would be leaking from there. So we're just kind of trying to work through the idea of there is fluid coming from somewhere, and we just got to find it. So it doesn't smell like antifreeze, so I don't think it's an antifreeze leak. I don't believe it's the gear oil, because if the gear oil was leaking, it would be dark black and heavy and thick. That would be, but the gear oil doesn't seem to be leaking either, so I don't know. We'll just have to take our time, and we're supposed to leave in the morning.
Yeah.
So, it's all good, we'll work through it.
Yeah.
Love being on a boat.
Oh yeah.
How's it going in there?
Well, we keep losing pressure on our oil pump, and so I just need to sit here and regularly pump it to keep the pressure. So basically it's air pressurized, so it just sucks it out of the engine and dumps it in here.
I think it's an air vacuum.
Air vacuum, thank you. And yeah, I can hear it. Now we gotta get a pressure going.
Yeah, that sounds like what we want to hear.
Good vacuum.
Good job, babe. Keep up the good work.
Whew. It's hot. We're getting our workout in today. Just knocking the projects off. You can hear the oil extracting in the back as I'm bouncing back and forth from pumping the oil and starting my food. So I have some seasoned water for my rice, rinsed rice. I'll make up just a rice and bean, maybe some corn in there. Sometimes we like the corn in the tacos. We'll see. Shred up this pork and then put it all in the fridge, and then it'll just be easy. All I have to do is scoop it out and put it into the taco shells. So it's a really easy passage meal. That looks now for the real test. Taste test. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so continue to work through this problem with the oil in the oil pan, which is kind of weird. I don't know why it's in there. So I got to my gear oil, and in my experience, gear oil has always been every like a 4-to-1 on oil changes. So I regularly do the oil. This is the third oil change this season since April. This is my third oil change since April. So you know, I'm pretty regular on my engine oil maintenance, but didn't realize that the gear oil is not a 90 weight gear oil. It's actually just an SEA heavy duty 30 weight. So it's no different. It's a heavy duty engine oil that they're putting in the gearbox. It's what Yanmar recommends. So that needs to be changed more often. So now I'll probably bump that to honestly, it's only a cup of fluid and it's right back behind, and I've got the extractor. I'll probably just change the gear oil every time I do the every time I change the oil, I'll do the gear oil now. And it's because I just checked it and it's been really clear, and this time it's dark, and it's the first time. You don't want to wait until it changes color. Not a problem. So that's where we are.
Okay.
Then I'll get all the oil, the fluids changed. Like this. The good news is that it's not leaking enough to actually affect the oil level. So, yeah, last time I checked my oil was 3 weeks ago before we came here, and there was no problem. It was clean and dry, and now, there you go.
One more project. oh, bonk. That was my head.
I said don't do it.
I know. The boat's all torn apart right now.
I need you.
Oh. Oh.
All right, so one of the things I've been doing is trying to, this is a side mount right off the side of your engine. So I just modified this bottle so that I can slide it all the way underneath. It catches the oil in the back, deposits it here. It's a 1.5 liter bottle that I've cut to about 6 inches. And then I've cut the notch out for the filter. It lets the bottle extend back behind, catches all the oil. And then you have a handy dandy spot. So let it do a splash down in your oil. Like that. And then you get a little bit over, but not much.
It's so nice when there's big receptacles for the oil in the marinas.
All right, so I've got the oil change completed, and now I'm going to go upstairs, run the engine for a second, and see if I can see any obvious leaks from the head and these gaskets and these seals. Just trying to track down where this extra oil came from. So wish me luck.
He has confirmed the head gasket is not leaking. Woohoo! So, he's tracking something down. I don't know what it is. He just snuck into the hole back there. Let's find out what's going on. He's gonna rev the motor a bit to see if that's going to help encourage some identifier. Because right now, we've ruled things out, but he hasn't truly identified it yet. So we're gonna run it at a higher RPM, 1500, 2000, 1500, 1600, and we'll see if that helps. So, oh, now tough decision time. He went through the whole thing and did, like, truly did a full service as much as he can on the motor, and he's not able to find anything. So we've got to just decide if we're willing to make the move and cross, or what we want to do. What would you do? I don't even know.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Huge thanks to our patrons for helping to make our adventure possible.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed our video, like and subscribe. And don't forget to join us next week. I was halfway in the middle of my oil change. No, I wasn't. I just decided to change the oil before I worked out the problem. So there you go.